Welcome back, everyone, to a very special episode where I'm going to dive into not my decks, not decks that I come up with, but my friends' personal decks. And the first up deck that we're going to be talking about is going to be one of my best friends, is Majin Wolf 87. Now, I'm going to link down his Twitch account here in the link in the bio. If you want to go ahead, give him a follow. He's a variety gamer, plays everything from, Overwatch, Magic the Gathering, Spell Table, Arena, all those kinds of fun things, Apex. So if those are the things you're interested in and you would like to watch him stream, please go ahead, give him a follow over there. Now, before we also get into the deck tech, have to make a disclaimer. Since these are my friends' personal decks, there's no budget. Excuse me. Unless my friends actually gave themselves a budget to build their deck under. It's just however they built their deck. I just want to showcase it here because, you've seen them on some of our streams here at Gentleman MTG at twitch.tv. Yeah, Gentleman MTG at twitch.tv. You've seen some of my friends come in and join me on Spell Table. I want to start showcasing their decks because I think it's super fun. Without further ado, I know you guys have, want to watch this. You've probably skipped ahead to this point. I will mark it down below once I figure out how to do that. Now, the commander we're going to be talking about here today is Tovolar. Now, Tovolar is finally a good werewolf commander. Werewolves have been asking for this for years. Now, for those who don't know what he does, basically he just says whenever a werewolf or a wolf creature you control deals combat damage to a player, you draw a card. And then he has the day-bound side, night-bound side, as well as the basically whenever he enters or he flips with day and night-bound. He also has another ability that if you control, I believe it's 3 or more werewolves, you flip all your werewolves. Now that's all, so it counts even with older werewolves, which is super awesome. Really glad that Wizards decided to put that in there for him. His backside says the same thing as a little bit of the same things as the front side. Whenever a werewolf or a wolf deals combat damage to a player, you draw a card. So he's a draw engine in the command zone for 3 mana. It's really good. It's really, really good. And then he also has a Kessig Wolf Run style effect where he pays green, green, red, and X, and target werewolf or wolf gets plus X plus O and trample until end of turn. So super solid for 3 mana. You have 1 and Gogar and Gruul, not Gogari, Gruul. See where my mind's at. Stick fingers. Anyways, so you're paying 3 mana for a draw engine. Pretty solid. He's a werewolf. He cares about the werewolves because he flips them. So he kind of gets around the day bound side, which is kind of cool because it doesn't change it. It just says if you control, 3 or more werewolves, 3 or more werewolves, you flip. So he counts himself too. Now, just like we do in all of our decks, we're going to break this down into 3 categories. Category 1, I'm going to call Pump It Up. I have to give them silly names. I'm sorry. We're going to go Pump It Up, the ramp, and closing it out. So pumping it up is pretty much you're running a lot of creatures in this deck. This deck runs about 39 creatures, not including your commander. So 40 including your commander, 40 creatures. You want to hit the board running. So best way to do that is a lot of the times the human sides of the werewolves are not very big. So you're running all the pump effects you can get with the Immer Wolf, Mayor of Avonbrook, and then there's the Alpha Pack Leader. I'm going to put it right here on the screen for you. I can never remember the cards, even though I just looked or reviewed the deck like 25 times before recording this. So you're running a good, decent amount of werewolves or wolves that pump each other. That way, you're making your team bigger as you go. So that's kind of step 1. Play a bunch of werewolves, pump them up, starts really swinging in, getting some damage in, drawing some cards. Now, you're playing a lot of creatures. You're going to want to play your creatures pretty quickly, so you need a ramp. So we're running a decent ramp package, not a whole lot of ramp that you would expect because the mana curve is not too high. Highest converted mana cost is about 6. So you're running a decent amount of ramp cards though. Mostly the biggest ramp thing you have here is Great Henge, as well as the new Coven, something of Autumn, Advocate of the Autumn, I believe, where you get to look at the top card of your library and you get to play the top card if it's a land. And then if you have Coven, you get to play creatures off the top card, which is always really nice, especially in a deck that's running so many creatures. And with Werewolves, the power levels are very fluctuating, so you should be able to trigger the Coven ability pretty quickly. There's a few other things you want to play, like Toski and the Orphan Frostfang, which basically is the same thing as your commander. Whenever creatures deal combat damage to a player, you're drawing cards, which I'm going to put in the ramp category because, drawing a bunch of cards allows you to play your lands on curve. It's really nice. It's really simple. Now, time for the fun stuff. Going out with a bang. That's what I said in the beginning. I forgot it already. Don't judge me. So, how the deck wins. 40 creatures. You tell me how the deck wins. So you really just want to overwhelm the board, really take advantage of the commander. So the commander is a very key card here. Taking advantage of the commander, drawing the cards, flipping your werewolves to where they're the bigger sides, so you can eventually just overrun. And then you're running the enchantment from the new one from Midnight Hunt, the unnatural empowerment or something like that. Again, right here. I just know what the enchantment does is basically at the beginning of combat, of each combat, you double the power of all your creatures. What? Okay. This is fine. Oh yeah, by the way, we're also running a Xenagos in here. So you're ramping out with Xenagos. We have all the Arlens in here. So those Arlens also really do help having, all these werewolves and pumping your team. And basically you're just swinging in for the win all day long. I hope that's the best way I can describe this deck. If this is something, if you guys like the werewolves, want to see, these werewolves, we do have a video that I posted of us playing in Spell Table in one of our previous highlights. Really fun game. It was basically no one was doing anything for a while, and it was really, really fun. I enjoyed that game. No spoilers. Anyways, so if you haven't seen that video, go ahead and check it out. You'll see the werewolf deck right there in action. And then, as always, guys, if there's any decks you everyone, if there's any decks you want to see me, talk about, any commanders you would like me to make a deck tech about, and throw either a budget into it or go balls to the wall and just build the most nasty version of a deck I could think of, let me know down in that comment section below. Now I'm doing something a little different this time, so instead of reminding you guys in the beginning to like, comment, subscribe, we're gonna do that right now. So as always, if you like my content, please go ahead and hit that like button down below. If you want to see more of my videos, please feel free to hit the subscribe button. It does help out the channel a lot. And if you want to be notified whenever new videos come up, please go ahead and ring that bell icon down below. And as always, guys and gals, play more game!